She dated Fred Astaire in secret, and now we know the reason why. And the truth adds a fascinating and bittersweet chapter to the life of the man who was not only one of the greatest dancers in film history, but also one of the most private stars of Hollywood's golden age. Astaire, known for his effortless grace alongside partners like Ginger Rogers, was always seen by the public as a consummate professional whose personal life remained carefully shielded from gossip columns, yet behind the scenes, he was deeply human, capable of great passion, longing, and heartbreak. For years, whispers circulated in Hollywood about a secret romance Astaire carried on away from the spotlight, a relationship that never made headlines at the time because he guarded it so carefully. Now, as more archival material and accounts from those who knew him have come to light, the truth has emerged. The woman who dated Fred Astaire in secret did so because their love simply could not survive the rigid pressures of fame, family, and image that defined 1930s and 1940s Hollywood. Astaire had married his beloved first wife, Phyllis Potter, in 1933, and by all accounts he was devoted to her. But even after her untimely death in 1954, the star remained extremely cautious about public relationships, fearing scandal and the invasion of his private world. The woman in question, whose identity has often been protected out of respect for her family, was reportedly younger, ambitious, and involved in the entertainment world herself, and she agreed to keep their romance hidden because exposure could have destroyed both their reputations. At the time, Hollywood was ruthless toward women linked to powerful men, often branding them as opportunists, and Astaire himself could not risk damage to the gentlemanly, refined image that defined his career. What makes this story even more poignant is that those who knew them said the love was genuine. Astaire, usually reserved and focused on work, was said to be more relaxed, more playful, and more emotionally open in her presence, qualities he rarely showed in public. Yet the secrecy became its own burden, and the relationship quietly faded as Astaire buried himself in work, creating some of his most iconic dance numbers while privately nursing the heartbreak of a love that could never fully be acknowledged. In later years, when asked about romance, Astaire would brush off questions with humor or polite deflections, but those who knew him best hinted that the scars of that hidden relationship lingered, shaping his reluctance to remarry for decades. The reason she dated him in secret was simple yet tragic. The world was not ready to accept Fred Astaire as anything other than the perfect, polished screen idol, and any deviation from that image was seen as a threat to the brand that had made him a legend. Today, the revelation of this private romance only deepens the humanity of Fred Astaire, reminding us that behind the dazzling footwork and charming smile was a man who longed for connection, but was forced by fame to sacrifice love for legacy.